Okay, my name is Mitch Crispell. I'm a project manager at Bridge Housing, and it has been my pleasure to work on this project for 2.5 years, and it is so exciting after that time to see us breaking the ground and getting started, so I'm really thrilled. You're going to hear lots of fabulous things about this project from other speakers, so one thing I thought I would just focus on is the transit-oriented nature of the project. So, of course, the BART line is running right underneath us. We've got tons of bus lines in the neighborhood. We're going to provide 260 bike parking spaces in the building. Over on this side of the project, we're going to have a pedestrian walkway, or a paseo, that will provide a new pedestrian connection between the block here, and will provide space for gathering and events. And then we have Poder that's going to provide a fantastic bike program for youth that's specifically oriented toward Latino youth here in the Mission. So that's going to be cool, too. And then finally, part of our financial support that we got for the project is going to go toward improving bike lanes in the neighborhood, sidewalks, and the 22 Fillmore line. So really, it's not just an affordable housing project, it's also a transit investment project, which is really neat. So our Bridges CEO, Cynthia Parker, really was excited about this event, but unfortunately she caught a bug, like everybody seems to be getting sick these days, so she couldn't make it, but she really wishes she could, and she sends her regards. I'm sorry she couldn't be here. So I just wanted to take a moment to offer some appreciation to some of the people who have made this possible. Of course, there's dozens and dozens of people that have worked on the project, but just wanted to thank a couple folks. So first, Sam, Michael, and John from Mission Housing. You guys are our co-developers. We're so grateful to be working together. From Swinnerton, our contractors, Shelby, Stacy, Mike, Rob, Herman, Dolores, and Sean. You guys are literally breaking the ground. This is your site, so thank you for everything you're doing. Our fabulous architects, Caroline, Aaron, Daniel, and Billy at David Baker Architects, and Anne from Cervantes Design. You have designed a beautiful, beautiful building that is going to really make the Mission, enhance the beauty already here in the Mission. Cindy, Kevin, Jenny, Mara, Aaron, and Kate from the Mayor's Office of Housing. You are our partner all the time. We talk all the time, and it's such a pleasure to work with you, so thanks for everything. Heather, Eileen, Joshua, Amy, and William at Goldfarb and Littman. Rebecca, Alexa, Smitha, Jamie, Allie, and Nan from Bridge. Justin, Dove from Gallagher, our insurance broker. Doug, Dave, Mike, and Larry from CM Squared, our construction manager. And David from CHPC, thank you for everything you do. Okay, so it is now my great pleasure to welcome Mayor London Breed. We are so grateful for everything you are doing to create more affordable housing in the city. So, Mayor Breed.
Thank you. You know, it is about time. I am so excited to be here to see the housing that we have promised this community, Roberto, finally get built. We stood here, you remember, in 2012 when I was going to Washington, D.C. to try and convince HUD to support our neighborhood preference legislation, because one of the things that you said to me loud and clear, we are fighting for affordable housing, but we have to make sure that residents in this community have a fighting chance of getting access to the units that's built in their community. And so with your support and so many leaders in this community, not only did we get HUD to change their mind and support our neighborhood preference legislation, we finally got the state to support a 25% preference, which will happen with this particular project because of state funding. So it is a huge victory. 155 units, and 40 of those units will go to homeless families. And that is also equally exciting, because we know that we need more affordable housing. And I gotta tell you, I am excited about the fact that we just broke ground on 2 family housing projects, over 200 more units, along with 155 units here. We're just getting started on making sure that we are making an investment in the future of San Francisco, because we know we have not done our fair share of not only building enough housing in San Francisco, but building enough affordable housing for families. So I am excited about this project, and I'm excited that we were able to work with the school district to purchase this property, that we were able to work with the school district to make sure that we had an underutilized site for the purposes of developing housing, but we knew in San Francisco bureaucracy years, it would take a long time to get housing built. And so the interim use was a navigation center where we were able to provide support to so many people in our homeless community. Now, I know we have a lot more work to do to get more housing built in San Francisco, but working with nonprofit developers like Mission Housing and Bridge, I know that the best is yet to come. The work that you do to not only help build affordable housing, but what you do to work with the community and create and maintain community is so critical to the survival of so many of our neighborhoods. And we are truly grateful for your work and your partnership of working together to make this incredible project happen. I am also looking forward to making sure that when we go to voters this November, that we build affordable housing and teacher housing as a right, and that we put a bond for 100% affordable housing on this November ballot. We can't just say we support affordable housing and not provide the resources necessary to build it and get it done. We have to build more, and we have to build all over San Francisco. I'm committed to continuing the work that I know we need to do in order to make sure that these 155 families who are going to be moving into this place have a safe and affordable place to call home where they have access to transit and great community resources. And I'd also like to thank the Office of Housing and the Office of Homeless Services, because with the families that we're going to be moving in, they're going to have wraparound support services as well. And so thank you to Jeff Kaczynski and his team for the work that they're going to do in order to help us get families housed, keep them housed, and provide them with the resources, the support, and the hope that they need for a better future here in San Francisco. Thank you all so much. And I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the mayor of the Mission, Roberto Hernandez, who is not only an incredible, dedicated advocate for this community, and as I said, you know, he has been a fighter for so many years, and he has said to me time and time again, we have got to build more housing in the Mission. We have got to make sure the people who need access to the housing are here in the Mission, that they have homes, that they're able to be a part of their community. And so he's helping, along with so many of you, to help make that a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, Roberto Hernandez.
Buenas tardes. I want you to all stand up. You've been sitting too long. You know what? Here in the Mission, we everything we have is because we have fought for it. There has nothing that's been given to us. We have fought for every single thing. So I'm going to just give you, for those of you who have not been part of the movement, today you're going to become part of that movement. I'm going to baptize you, and I'm going to baptize you like Cesar Chavez did to so many of us, and we're going to clap very slowly and then very fast, and we're going to, usually we say si se puede, but today we're not going to say si se puede. We're going to say si se pudo. All right. Si se pudo. Si se pudo. Si se pudo. Gracias. You may have your seat back. I got a couple of stories about this place. You know, in the 80s, here in the Mission, there was a lot of cholos and cholas. Now, some of you might not know what that is, but those of you who do know what it is, and they were dropping out of school, not out of because they wanted to drop out, but they were being suspended and they were being expelled from school. At that time, I had the honor of being the leader at RAP, the Real Alternatives Program. And at that time, the superintendent, his name was Bob Alioto. And I went to Bob Alioto one day and I said, Bob, I said, you are losing over $896,000 a year because of all these young people that are being expelled and suspended aren't going to school. I said, how about we make a deal? You give me 1950 Mission for $1 a year, and nobody will know, that I'm only paying $1 a year. You just let everybody know I leased it, and let rap start in alternative high school, and we'll call it Si Se Puede. And I had worked with some professors from Stanford to develop a curriculum, and I gave him the curriculum. And the curriculum basically was about reading, writing, math, and science and biology. And it all revolved around a lowrider, how to build a lowrider and how lowriders work. Well, let me tell you, Bob was not too serious about what I was telling him, but when I said about lowriding, all of a sudden he got really excited, and he started and literally read the whole curriculum, had me sit there for 20 minutes while he read the whole thing, and he says, you know what, I love it. Let's build lowriders, and let's make money for the school district while we're at it. And he gave us this site, and we had numerous people. How many people here from RAP today? Raise your hand. There's Sam, there's Cookie, and there's a whole lot of, oh, there you go, Valerie's in the back, and there's a couple of the teachers that were here back in those days. And you know, we had a 96% graduation rate. You know what I'm talking about? Those that got expelled and suspended. Then you had Phoenix Continuation School, you know, and when my sister Estela Garcia was talking about, this is a healing ground. You know, when you talk about, we took dropouts, people that the schools did not want, you know, when you fell behind and you just couldn't keep up academically. I know that feeling because I was one of those. I could not keep up academically. So Phoenix was a great school that was here and healed a lot of people. And then as our mayor spoke, you know, we were here and we sent her off with the blessing to Washington, D.C. to demand that HUD make sure that our people for the affordable housing, you know, got preference, which I believe it should be 100% preference, because here in the Mission, we've had 10,000 people who've been evicted. So all the housing that we are building, it should be 100% for our people from our community. And most important, you know, when you talk about 8,000 Latinos, you know, all those Latinos should come back. Just like all the African Americans should be able to come back to the Hunters Point, Bayview, and to the Western Addition. You know, they were promised that, and that promise was not kept, you know? So I just want to end by saying that, you know what, we're going to continue fighting. And we will fight, and we will fight and fight, because we need 2,400 units of affordable housing to have some equity and justice in our community. And I want to thank all the warriors from our Mission No Eviction for all the times that you volunteer your time, for the times that you march and we protested. And I know some of you are always scared that you're going to get arrested with me, but that's okay, because I always had the lawyer and the bishop with me, and I always had bail money. I told you I had bail money. And I look forward to having the contractor that's been hired. You know, Dr. Estela told us to be responsible for this project. So I want to make sure this contract hires Latinos and hires people from this neighborhood. I also want to make sure that what we build here, we build it across the street. And that means no monster in the Mission. Absolutely no monster in the Mission. Nada. It's got to be just like this. And we are going to fight and fight and fight and fight against that monster. And last, I want to thank Sam, the white guy. Come here, Sam. Come here. This is the white guy. Now, some people said, hey, man, why you hang around with a white guy? I said, I love this white guy. I said, I'm baptizing and making him brown. You know, we were sitting here in the sun. He was like, oh, my God, the sun. I go, yeah, I know you ain't going to turn brown, brother. You're going to turn pink, you know. But I love him because you know what? And Marcia, come here. This Nicoya's sister, she's from Nicaragua. You know, these two are my heroes because both of them, for over 10 years, along with the board of directors, struggled because there were people in this city that defunded Mission Housing. They didn't want Mission Housing to be around no more. And you know what? Yeah, there was a problem, but you know what? They fixed problems. Look at City College. There's a problem. It got fixed, right? But nobody wanted to fix Mission Housing. They just wanted to see it close. And these two people are my angels. They are the angels of our community that for 10 years stuck it out and rebuilt it, fixed it without no funding, and made it happen. So thank you very much. I love you both. And I'd like to now welcome Supervisor Hilly Round from the Barrio La Misión, Bernal Heights, and Portola.
Good afternoon, everyone. Look at this gorgeous day for this groundbreaking. The fourth in the mission recently, and there's 2 or 3 more to come by the end of this year. That is 7 projects, 7 new buildings that are going to be 100% affordable housing for everybody. For everybody from formerly homeless families to the working class families that are making minimum wage in the city and county in San Francisco. And thank you to Mayor Breed. A lot of them were going to be people that were raised and born right here in the Mission District. So thank you very much for your groundbreaking neighborhood preference legislation. It means the world to this neighborhood, truly does. I just want to say how proud I am to be the supervisor of the Mission District. This is the most, if not one of the most, I can say the most special neighborhood in this amazing city of San Francisco. And the reason is we have one of the most engaged communities in the entire country. They don't just accept the status quo and let things continue to happen when 10,000 Latino individuals and families are displaced for the community. They fight and they fight and they fight to make sure that we build affordable housing again. And if there's not enough affordable housing in the market rate projects, they fight and they fight and they fight until there's enough affordable housing in those market rate projects. And it's not just affordable housing. When there's 260 people living in tents in the street, they welcome navigation centers into the neighborhood and say there's a better way, there's a kinder way, there's a more dignified way for people to get their issues figured out until they can get stable housing. And we're not going to let them die on the streets. We're going to bring them inside. When vendors right down the street are trying to make a few extra bucks on the weekend and neighbors are complaining and the police come to criminalize them, the Mission builds La Pulguita and gets permits from the city to get a dignified alley and tables where people can sell their arts and their crafts and the extra things that they find to make an extra buck. This is the most incredible neighborhood because all of the people in this neighborhood that were born and raised here, some who moved in and just want to be part of the magic, like myself, I make it so special. So I wanted just to say congratulations to Bridge and Mission Housing, congratulations to the Mission District, but really congratulations to the badass Mission community, and you know who you are. I'm looking at your faces in the crowd for making the magic that you make happen in this neighborhood every single day. And now I have the pleasure of introducing one of those rock stars. What do you call him, white boy? Not egg boy, but white boy. White boy, Sam Moss.
I want to thank all the great people at Mission Local for calling me that in writing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sorry, I don't know what to say. Roberto took my whole speech, and now I'm okay. So 5 years ago, I was driving to my hometown of Fresno, California. I was driving there because I was supposed to go down and convince the city council to let Mission Housing out of one of about 4 or 5 failed projects in as many years. You know, Mission Housing was on the brink of bankruptcy, and I was naive enough to think that I wasn't in over my head. and I definitely was. And I wouldn't be here now, we wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for Marcia and our team and the Mission Housing Board of Directors then and now for believing in us and, you know, believing that nothing was going to get fixed overnight, but that it was going to get fixed. And so today we stand on this ground, this acre of land in the middle of San Francisco that represents so much. You know, it represents a place where 156 low-income families are going to live sooner than later. You know, we stand on a site where low-income artists are going to have studios, where there will be a gallery to sell their wares. We stand on a site where Mission Neighborhood Center is going to provide Head Start, an early Head Start, to the low-income kids of this city. And you know, but most importantly, at least to me, I guess, we stand on a site that represents Mission Housing Development Corporation delivering on a promise. And I don't mean the promise that we made when Marcy and I took over that we'd fix it. I don't mean the promise that we've made to lenders and funders. I mean the one we made in 1971 when Mission Housing was created. So we promised that we would be an anchor to the community, and we promised that we would have support for everyone who needed it. And this is what that looks like. And so today we stand on a finally Mission Housing delivering on that promise and being the community development corporation that the mission deserves. And so with that, I just have a few thanks because we wouldn't be here without a bunch of help along the way. I first and foremost would like to thank Ann Cervantes. Please. Ann, I love you. I love being told I don't know what I'm talking about by you all the time. You're usually right, you know? Ann's leadership with this project goes back so far, 7-10 years. Our Vistas de Pueblo program and the community-driven low-income artist studios and gallery. And I think what's the most important about Ann, not just her leadership and vision for these things, but is that Ann doesn't, she's not just going to go away when we build the building, for better or worse. She will be there along with us all along the way. And it's always good to know that we have the community's support with someone like you. So thank you, Ann. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I also am really excited to announce Mission Housing is partnering with Success Center. So Roberto, not only will we be hiring Latinos and local who live here, but we will be having youth build program at all of our sites for the first time in like 20 years. So, we're going to get these kids to work. Well, thank you. I said it already, but Mission Housing's board of directors back 7 years ago when we first took over, and right now, Pete Gallegos and Josh Arce, our last two directors. And there you are. I didn't see you over there. Viola Mestes, a former director before that. I am not an easy executive director to manage, I'm sure. I say things publicly that I probably shouldn't. There's all these problems with Twitter. It's, the thing is like, I've heard Slack is a thing, and I know that I have your support, and I know that you believe there's a method to the madness, and it's just, there's no way we would have been able to come this far if we all hadn't known that no matter what, the Mission Housing Board of Directors had our back, because, you're not going to try things, you're not going to strive for something that might be just out of your reach unless like if you fall, people are going to catch you, and so thank you very, very much. And, last but not least, once again, I just really want to thank you, Marcia, for always being there for me. I honestly don't have any words about how much I appreciate what you've done for Mission Housing, so thank you. And so with that, without further ado, I have the great honor of introducing Santiago Ruiz from Mission Neighborhood Centers.
Thank you, Brother Sam. Thank you. Roberto, gracias. You brought me back, you took me back years. Rap school, yeah. This place, this land has touched so many lives, from a public school to a community alternative school, and now in the future, it will be an early Head Start and Head Start facility for 42 children. But before I say anything else, I would appreciate it very much. I'd like to clarify one thing. Mitchell Crispell, you mentioned everybody that's going to be here except Mission Neighborhood Centers. And you forget the most important thing, that Mission Neighborhood Centers is co-developer. We don't develop land, because we don't. We develop young minds to do better in school, to succeed in school, to go to college, and to graduate from college. So let's be clear about that. We're co-developers, okay? And we couldn't be co-developers if it weren't for an amazing team. That team is here with us this afternoon. Mission Neighborhood Center staff, I would appreciate it if you could please stand up. Please. Yeah. These are the talented, committed, dedicated, knowledgeable, skilled, amazing folks that gives Mission Neighborhood Centers, Head Start and Early Head Start program the reputation, the great reputation that we have. So thank you, staff. Thank you very much. I want to say that every dream, whether it's this particular development or any other development that our city will be introducing in years to come, needs a champion, a team of champions, needs an architect, needs a developer, but it has to have one fundamentally key individual on board. Without that person, ain't nothing gonna happen. And so in this instance, I have to insist that the individual responsible for years to come and for this city to benefit from affordable housing is none other but Mayor London Breed. It starts with you. And so far, I have to say what I've witnessed is a steady hand on your behalf, some strategic thinking, and definitely a true advocate in identifying how this city can, in the future, build additional affordable housing, right? If it starts with you, then the rest will follow, right? We will dream. I also need to identify one individual and make a correction to Roberto. There just isn't in the Mission community the alcalde de la misión, right? We forget there's the alcaldesa de la misión, right? And that alcaldesa, I'm appointing her as of right now, is none other than Ann Cervantes. You know, Ann has so skillfully and detailed, just mastered to be able to design many of our new facilities. So she's not just an architect per se, academically speaking and professionally speaking, right? She's also an architect in identifying and working on community issues. And of course, more than anything else, community politics. I just love her input, right? Don't we all do that? Don't deny it. So thank you, Ann, for being by our side, by being our true partner. And then lastly, yes, we will introduce 42 slots to this facility, and we will provide infant, toddler, and preschool services. I am hoping that just like most of our sites where we provide family resource support services, that we will be able to rely on La Raza Family Resource Center to extend their services on site. And I see that there's at least one board member from La Raza Information Center or from La Raza Resource Center who's nodding his head yes. So I look forward to developing an MOU before I retire from Mission Neighborhood Centers, which I hope this housing will be built by then. So everyone, thank you very much. I will now introduce the Executive Vice President and Group Head for Wells Fargo Community Lending and Investments, Mr. Vincent Toy. Mr. Toy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here this evening, to be a part of this small project that has a big impact. At Wells, we try to be involved with affordable housing throughout the country, and especially here in San Francisco and the Bay Area, given that we're headquartered here. But the thing about this project that really touches me is not only that's providing the affordable housing, but it's touching kids when they're really young. They have the Head Start, they have child care, they have also all the wraparound services that they need. Those are the types of projects that we really like being involved with. When we had the opportunity, my team that's based here, we had the opportunity to get involved with this project with Bridge and Mission, we jumped at the chance, and we were very fortunate to be able to be partners with them. And as the mayor and others are trying to get more things built here in San Francisco, we want to be a part of that as well. It's important for us being based here and a lot of team members and employees working here that we be involved and help try to solve the problem. In my role, we're involved with affordable housing throughout the country. And it just brings something special to me when I'm able to be at projects like this that are having an impact, because as a person who grew up in a single family household, that, you know, I lived in a project like this when I was young in a small town in Virginia. So these are things that are just crucial and important to me. It's just my pleasure for us to have the opportunity to be a partner here. Everyone said so many wonderful things about this project, so I won't repeat them. But most of all, I just want to say thank you to Mission, thank you to Bridge, thank you to the mayor and everyone else who's been involved to help get this project done. And it's just our pleasure at Wells just to play a small part in helping all those folks to bring affordable housing here, as well as all the other services that are going to be done here. And with that, I'm keeping it short and sweet. I'd like to introduce, you going to take over? Yes. Okay.
God, I'm short. So we'd like to thank everybody that joined us today, but before we end, I'd like to just have our Mission Housing staff raise their hand, please, really high and proud. And please, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for making this event successful. We'd like to invite you guys to stay. We are going to take an opportunity to take a photo opportunity here in the back to celebrate our groundbreaking. And please stay and join us for some food and refreshment. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Get together. 1, 2, 3, dig in. Thank you. Yeah.
I know. It's frozen.
There
you go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, up.
There she goes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, everybody, yes, we did it. Lo hicimos. Sí se pudo. Sí se pudo. Sí se pudo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sí se pudo.